Well, hello, my lovelies. It's Murky Meg here. Well, hello. Welcome back, everybody. Firstly, I want to talk about the second appearance at the Beyonce concert. Now, I spoke in my previous video about Harry and Meghan enjoying time at Beyonce's first LA concert, but it seems 2 days later, she was attending solo Beyonce's birthday concert, and she got snapped with Kerry Washington from Scandal and Kelly Rowland. Everybody went a little bit bonkers about this because it was like, oh my god, she's back in Hollywood. Oh my god, she's being accepted back into the fold. No, she's not. I can guarantee that it's just management put them together. So it's all to do with her agency WME trying to boost her profile. It's so pathetic. It's so obvious and so transparent. Anyway, that's not what I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to talk about the photo opportunities of grief, and it's really made me quite cross. As you all are probably aware, yesterday marked the 1 year anniversary of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II passing, and Harry was in the UK. Flying visit, he was at the Well Child Awards, which got me really cross again when he said this. Up on stage at the Well Child Awards, he said, as you know, I was unable to attend the awards last year as my grandmother passed away. As you also probably know, she would have been the first person to insist that I still come to be with you all instead of going to her. And that's precisely why I know exactly 1 year on, she's looking down on us all tonight, happy we're together continuing to spotlight such an incredible opportunity. Firstly, it really annoys me that he mentioned the Queen. She had no connection to this charity whatsoever. Yes, she probably would be happy that he was attending and doing a good thing, but he's using the Queen for publicity, and it really did grate on me. It also, a lot of people are saying that it implies that he was by her side when she passed, and we all know he wasn't because he threw a tantrum. He says this in his book, Spare. It was Pa. Granny's health had taken a turn. She was up at Balmoral, of course, those beautiful, melancholy late summer days. He hung up. He had many other calls to make, and I immediately texted Willie to ask whether he and Kate were flying up. If so, when and how? No response. Meg and I looked at the flight options. The press started phoning. We couldn't delay a decision any longer. We told our team to confirm we'd be missing the Well Child Awards and hurrying up to Scotland. Then came another call from Pa. He said I was welcome at Balmoral, but he didn't want her. He started to lay out his reason, which was nonsensical and disrespectful, and I wasn't having it. Don't ever speak about my wife that way. He stammered, apologetic, saying he simply didn't want a lot of people around. No other wives were coming. Kate wasn't coming, he said, therefore Meg shouldn't. Then that's all you needed to say, but by now it was mid-afternoon, no more commercial flights that day to Aberdeen, and I still had no response from Willie. My only option, therefore, was to charter out of Luton. I was on board 2 hours later. I spent much of the flight staring at the clouds, replaying the last time I spoke with Granny 4 days earlier. Long chat on the phone. We touched on many topics. Her health, of course, the turmoil at number 10, the Braemar Games. She was sorry about not being well enough to attend. We talked also about the biblical drought, the lawn at Frogmore where Meg and I were staying that was in terrible shape. Looks like the top of my head, Granny, balding and brown in patches. She laughed. I told her to take care. I looked forward to seeing her soon. As the plane began to descend, my phone lit up. A text from Meg. Call me the moment you get this. I checked the BBC website. Granny was gone. Pa was king. We all know he could have quite easily just got on the flight without any melodrama at all. But no, he wanted Meghan there. So that then caused a massive drama. And I also have to remind you that during the time that they were in the UK last year, they were invited to Balmoral and they refused. So he can talk about the last conversation that he had with the Queen all he likes, but we still know that he failed to attend. He failed to go up and see her. And that he has to live with, I suppose. But I don't think he does. He doesn't ever think that he's in the wrong. With Harry and Meghan, they will always play the perpetual victim. It's just the role that they have forged for themselves. And it really made me mad that he made such a big fuss of it at the Well Child Awards when it really should have been about those gorgeous children. But hey, he's got to make sure that that connection to the royal family is mentioned at every single opportunity. Then yesterday came around and the world, especially England, remembered that fateful day a year ago when we all found out that our beloved Queen had passed. But yesterday, this photo pops up. Apparently, he made a surprise, always a surprise with them, isn't it? Solo trip to Windsor Castle, where the Queen is laid to rest. Now, he went to St George's Chapel at around lunchtime and was photographed exiting the chapel. Now, there seems to be some confusion over who took the photo because when he actually visited, chapel wasn't open, I don't believe. And social media has said that this person that took the photo is actually a Royal Reporter's friend from a very old Twitter account that's posted and has since been deleted, which is very, very bizarre. I always say that this is a complete setup. And if it doesn't smell right, it generally means that it is off. Now, Harry had to ask permission to visit his grandmother's grave because it was a private visit and it wasn't with the public. And the Telegraph, the Daily Telegraph, reported yesterday. Now, remember, the Daily Telegraph is very pro-Sussexes. It's one of the only UK media sources that will deal directly with the Sussexes and get updates from them. Now, the Telegraph said that when the Duke of Sussex asked permission to visit his grandmother's grave, he knew it was a long shot. His relationship with senior members of the royal family had gone from bad to worse in recent months. But as soon as he realised he would be in the UK for the first anniversary of Elizabeth II's death, there was only one place he wanted to be. Buckingham Palace kept him waiting, and he did not hold out much hope. But eventually, at the last minute, he was told he could make a private pilgrimage to the late Queen's resting place, deep in the confines of St George's Chapel, Windsor. The visit, however, had to be private, aides insisted. He almost pulled it off, but a savvy onlooker who happened to be in the grounds of Windsor Castle at around midday on Friday spotted the prince and swiftly pulled out their phone. The image was posted on social media. Within minutes, private visit was public knowledge. Isn't it funny that it's supposed to be private and it gets made public? Oh, shocker. What do you think? Do you think that it was arranged to be photographed of him coming out of the chapel? Or do you think it really was just a coincidence? Now, if you've been listening to me for a while, you'll know I don't believe in coincidences. Also note that, as I said a few minutes ago, the Telegraph is very pro-Sussexes. And that article implies that Harry had to go cap in hand, request a private visit, and it was the mean Buckingham Palace that left him waiting and waiting and waiting. And he didn't know it was going to happen. The big bad meanies at Buckingham Palace. We all know where that information came from, and it certainly didn't come from Buckingham Palace. It came from the Sussex camp. The way that they implied that it was very last minute, that they kept him waiting, it's all very pro-Sussex. So we know exactly where that information has come from. A lot of people also said, why on earth was he not wearing a jacket? Well, it's flipping hot in this country at the moment. We're having a very weird September heat wave. We're all sweltering. But Prince and Princess of Wales managed to pay their respects in typical fabulous style, and they looked the part too. Elegant, respectful, thoughtful, poignant. It was beautiful. Here they are. They are the essence of duty. But a lot of people were saying about Harry visiting the St George's Chapel, too little, too late. You should have gone to see a mate, and you've got to live that for the rest of your life. But of course he won't. He won't think he's done anything wrong. He will not. He's the perpetual victim, like I said. And a lot of people were saying, well, what will happen on the anniversary? Will Meghan pull a pap shot? And technically, yes, she did. She was papped out driving, which she never does. She never drives. But she was papped in California, driving a Range Rover, and guess who papped it? The one and only Backgrid. Now, if you don't know, Backgrid are a private dial-a-pap company. If you remember, they were the ones when they went to the gala and it was the whole near-catastrophic car chase. It was Backgrid that were there, and it was Backgrid that Harry and Meghan demanded that they hand over all pictures, and Backgrid literally just went, no, that ain't happening, no, we ain't doing that. And you know why? Because they were paid to be there, they were tipped off. And the only reason why Harry and Meghan didn't pursue that legally was because I'm pretty sure that they know that Backgrid would have actually gone, well, actually, we knew you were going to be there because you tipped us off. It is well known that Backgrid get backhanders, they get tips, they get dial-a-paps, they get told where celebrities are going to be. It is so well known in the industry. I mean, just look what's happening to Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner at the moment. If you don't know, it's bonkers, this divorce. It really, really is. In fact, I'm quite tempted to do a video on it, but I can't. This is a Snark, Harry and Meghan channel, so bleh. But we all know, it's so well known, that Backgrid, ding, 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 dial-a-pap. So what are the chances that on the anniversary of the Queen's death, Meghan Markle is papped? We all knew it was going to happen. We all took a poll on it. Again, so transparent. What are your thoughts on all of this? What are your thoughts on the weird attending of Beyonce's concert, getting kind of photographed with two celebrities, one of which actually cropped her out of Instagram, which was quite funny? Is it her reinventing of herself back into the Hollywood fold? Or do you just think she's just really, really thirsty? What are your thoughts on Harriet the Well-Child mentioning the Queen? Do you think it was quite respectful of him to do so? Or do you just think he's taken liberties? And what do you think of the weird picture of him coming out of the chapel, being photographed when it should have been a private event? Do you think that was a setup? Or do you think it was generally a member of the public getting an opportunistic photo? And finally, was it a setup with regards to Meghan Markle being papped driving? It's weird. It's very, very weird. The timing. Coincidence? I don't think so. As always, I would love to know your thoughts.